welcome back to another video. I hope you've been keeping so very well. I thought for the next few days we could hang out and I could show you what I eat in a few days as a vegan. My goodness, it feels like a long time since I've done anything like this, so I'm really excited to share some delicious food with you over the next few days. This morning for breakfast, I actually prepped this last night because I had had a few recommendations from you for me to try the whole Weet-Bix cheesecake thing. I know this was a food trend. Probably a year ago, I feel like this food trend kind of kicked off, but essentially it's some Weet-Bix mixed with oat milk is what I did. Crushed and mixed with oat milk down the bottom and then topped with some yogurt. I did a strawberry yogurt. I'll grab the one and show you. This is my yogurt of choice lately. I really enjoy it, especially the strawberry one. And yeah, so I decided to put that on top of here. I feel like it looks so bland. I'm gonna put some fresh strawberries on top as well though, and then we will see how it tastes. Okay, let's give this a try. Could be a new breakfast that I end up having semi-regularly. Weet-Bix just tastes so nostalgic, although my family were more of a Vita family, but still the taste is very nostalgic. So I'm going to very much so enjoy the rest of that for breakfast, and thank you to those who recommended I give it a go, because I feel like that's going to be a really good quick meal prep breakfast for me to make when I have really early mornings or I'm having a busy week. So thank you. I also just wanted to note before we get into the rest of the video, if you are new, my name's Amanda. I've been vegan for almost 9 years. I love cooking. I love vegan food. I love how it makes my mind and my body feel. I am going to get into a little bit of work, but I will catch up with you when it is time for us to make a delicious lunch. My boyfriend and I have noodle soup, honestly, a few times every single week. It's our favorite thing to make, and tonight I was leading the charge with the noodle soup. I started by putting some brown onion and some corn into a frying pan with some oil, and whilst that was frying up, I had some tofu that had been frozen and then had all of the water pressed out of it. It makes it the best texture. I'll make sure to show you properly in a video soon how my boyfriend does this, because it is so good. So I fried up that tofu, and then I also added some miso paste, some soy sauce and some water in with the corn and the onion that had been frying up. Then I also cut up some broccoli. Usually we have broccoli, corn and tofu as like the base things that we have with the noodle soup, and recently we've been really enjoying doing a miso noodle broth thing, which is really good. I add soy milk in to make it creamy. I taste as I go, and then also cooked up some ramen noodles at the same time. I like adding some sesame oil in with them and tossing it all together to get a bit of extra flavor, and then I pour over the broth, add on the broccoli and the tofu, and top it with some sesame seeds as well. And we also had this with some rice this evening to soak up that extra broth at the end, which was really delicious. refreshing start to the day today. I went up to one of my favorite spots to get an acai bowl, and I started my day with an acai bowl in the sun, which was just absolutely lovely. I feel like I'm so curious as to whether there are people still watching my channel from like a few years ago who can remember when I was like in such a smoothie bowl era, and I feel like I had smoothie bowls and acai bowls like every single day. I haven't been in that era in a while, and every time I have an acai bowl I'm like, this is so good. I really need to get back into making them at home because I really like starting my day that way. But anyway, it's just always such a good way to start my day of eating. With my breakfast as well, I always have my Seed DSO1 daily symbiotic, and a big thank you to Seed for continuing to work with me and for sponsoring this video. So if you've never heard of the DSO1 before, it is a prebiotic and a probiotic in the one capsule, and I have 2 capsules every single morning. I really enjoy taking the DSO1. I've been taking it for a few years now and I just absolutely love it. I love the way it supports my gut health and my skin health, and I just really feel good when I am in a healthy habit of, you know, doing my healthy habits in the morning and starting my day well. That's when I feel like I feel my best, and the DSO1 is a part of that. If you're looking to try something new to support your gut health, I definitely recommend checking out Seed. I will leave a link to their website down below, and I also have a discount code which I'll put on the screen. It gets you 25% off your first month's supply of the DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. It is such a gorgeous day today, but I do need to spend most of my day behind the computer editing, so I'm going to get into doing all of that now, but I'll catch up with you when it's time to make lunch, which I'm sure is going to be very delicious. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm sure it'll be tasty. I've been really enjoying getting back into chickpea tempeh lately, and so I decided to start my lunch with that. I cut it up, put some oil, some garlic powder, veggie stock and nutritional yeast on it, tossed it to coat and put it into the air fryer to get nice and crispy. Whilst that was happening, I cut up some cos lettuce, really nice and fresh, which I love, and then also cut up some fresh tomato. Then into a bowl I added in some vegan mayonnaise as well as some Dijon mustard and some lemon juice. I also then added in some salt as well as some nutritional yeast, and I mixed this together with some water to thin it out as well, and then added the greens in and tossed it all together. Once my Turkish bread was all toasted, I added some vegan butter on as well as the greens with that sauce through them. Then followed that with the chickpea tempeh as well as the fresh tomato. I put some tomato pesto on the top as well, and this was my very delicious lunch. I'm a creature of habit, and I feel like creamy pasta has been something I have been loving for well over a year now. I feel like I have it every single week, and tonight I decided to make creamy pasta for my boyfriend and I. I really wanted to do some tofu, like crispy tofu quote unquote bacon pieces in this, and so I made this tofu marinade and then soaked all the tofu in it and put it in the oven to bake so that it would get nice and crispy. Then I cut up some brown onion and I diced that really finely, and then into my pan I put some olive oil with the brown onion and started frying that up. Then I added in some vegan butter and that started to melt away, and I added in veggie stock powder, continued frying that up and added in some soy milk as well. I also love adding nutritional yeast. Honestly, probably put way too much of it in on this evening, but that's okay. And then I also cooked some pasta up whilst I was making this sauce. This pasta sauce is honestly super simple, which is why I love it so much. And I also love adding green peas in because they're so quick and easy to add in, and they're obviously a source of plant-based protein. So I added the pasta and the green peas and then added in these crispy tofu bits as well as some spinach and tossed this all together. I feel like I added in almost a whole bag of spinach and it still didn't even look like it was that much, but it was a very delicious dinner. Thursday. I am about to get into making lunch. I just had some more of that choc nut muesli bar that I've been making. I'm gonna actually put a recipe together soon for it. I've been really enjoying it, so I will try and share that on both YouTube and Instagram soon. But for now, I'm going to get into making lunch. And recently when I was at the supermarket, I got some couscous. I haven't cooked with couscous in quite a while, but I absolutely love it, and I used to eat it quite frequently because it is really quick to prepare, and I really enjoy it as like a chickpea couscous salad for the most part. So that's what I'm gonna make today. I just kind of want to throw something together, and honestly, lunch is usually the meal that I really like to do this with, like just throw things together rather than cook like a very specific meal. I suppose it's the meal that I like to be the most efficient to make, essentially. So I'm gonna get into cooking this like chickpea couscous bowl salad situation. I don't know what else I'm gonna put in it yet. I just know that's where it is going to start. We'll see what fresh food I have in the house to add to it. And yeah, I'm sure it will be delicious, but let's get into making it. So I started by putting some olive oil into a bowl, followed by some onion powder and garlic powder, as well as smoked paprika, some salt and some pepper. And I tossed this all together, mix it all together I should say, before adding in some chickpeas that I drained and rinsed. I coated them all well and then transferred into my air fryer and air fried them for about 15 minutes until they were nice and crispy. Then with my couscous, I put it into a bowl with some veggie stock powder, as well as some nutritional yeast and some vegan butter, poured over some boiling water, I should say. Mix this together and then put a plate on top to let it all soak up. Whilst the chickpeas and the couscous were cooking away, I cut up some cherry tomatoes. I also cut up some cucumber. I feel like these are always my bases for like salads and nourish bowls and things like that, because it's so easy to prepare them. Then into my bowl, I put the couscous as well as some fresh greens, said cucumber as well as said cherry tomatoes, added on a whole heap of those crispy chickpeas as well as the tomato pesto I've been loving lately, and some cashew parmesan on top as well. Very quick, like 15-minute lunch to throw together, and I absolutely loved it. When it comes to dinner, we're starting with tofu again. Who would believe that a couple of years ago I didn't ever want to eat tofu, and now I eat it almost every single day. I started by cutting up this tofu into triangles because in my opinion, as you know, it tastes better. Added on some vegan chicken stock as well as some corn flour and tossed this all to coat it well. Then I fried it up in some oil whilst I cooked some white rice over the heat as well. As you can see, this tofu is getting nice and crispy, and once it is crispy, I then add in some soy sauce as well as some lime juice and continue tossing this all together. Then at the end, I add some teriyaki sauce and I toss it all well so that it coats the tofu nicely. And this brings together a very simple dinner, which is some rice with the teriyaki tofu that I love so much, some sesame seeds on top, as well as some spring onions. Super delicious. Okay, it is a very simple dinner tonight, but this is something I have been enjoying so much, and when I am cooking for only myself, it's something that I really enjoy making. Teriyaki tofu, I coat it in some corn flour so it gets nice and crispy before I add all of the sauce, and I swear once I started doing that, I started eating so much more tofu. And as well as that, this came together in like 20 minutes, which is perfect when I have had a busy day and I'm looking forward to relaxing on the couch for the evening. And this will bring us to the end of what I eat in a few days. I really hope you enjoyed hanging out and seeing some delicious vegan food. As always, a big thank you for being here and supporting me and my channel. I appreciate it so very much. I hope you have a really beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you next week with another video. Bye!